All right, salute Black Goose TV family. What's good with it? I got some things that I want to discuss with y'all, okay? I want to know you guys' opinion on it. I want to know what you guys think. So make sure you guys put your perspective down below in the comments. And as always, if you come up in here and you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the family, man. Be part of the family. And of course, hit the like button to help your boy out with the algorithm. Now, with that being out of the way, you guys can see the topic at hand. Has to do with Shakur Stevenson. This past weekend, the boxing gods blessed us with an amazing boxing weekend, period. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and make sure you guys check out the Fluence Lounge that happened on Saturday. Me and Zen, we was in that hole for like 3 hours. 3 hours. We watched the Katie Taylor Amanda Serrano fight, which was fire. Absolute fire. And then, of course, we watched the Shakur Stevenson Oscar Valdez fight, which went exactly how I expected it to go. With Shakur Stevenson basically dominating every round, and obviously ended up winning quite easily. Let's be 100. Let's not cap. Let's not be extra with it. He won goddamn easy. Okay, I expected that to be the case. I didn't expect anything differently, and that's what ended up happening. Now, with that being said, with that now being out the way, the question now for Shakur is, what does he do next? What is his next move? What is his what is his trajectory, right? Because Shakur Stevenson, out of all these young guns that we talk about, has the weirdest trajectory. The reason why he does is because he's at a weight class lower than everyone we talk about, right? Talk about the Ryan Garcias of the world, the Javante Davises of the world, the Teofimo Lopez of the world, the Devin, etc., right? Excuse me for that little bump in the Wi-Fi and the internet. Didn't mean for that to happen, but make sure y'all keep watching because it's going to be absolutely amazing from here on out. But anyways, so when we talk about all these young guns, the 3 or 4 that I named is at a weight class above. And not only are they at a weight class above, but they're willing to move up one more weight class. You know what I'm saying? With the exception of maybe Javante Davis, but he's done it before. We've seen it, but he's made it known that he wants to stay at 135. But at the same time, we understand that he can move up to 140, i.e. Versus Barrios. And he can go up there and he can do his thing. But Shakur Stevenson, when he's named amongst these younger stars, correct? He's the odd man out, not because of his skill level, not because of his work ethic, not because of his trajectory, not because of how good he can end up being, but because of his weight class, right? He's in the weight class below. He's at 130, obviously, okay? He just beat Oscar Valdez, which a lot of people were just trying to, if you're an Oscar Valdez fanboy, if you're Canelo fanboy, whatever the case may be, you're going to give, you were in Oscar Valdez's corner and you thought he had a very good chance. If you were able to be realistic, look at it from a objectively mindset, or a non-objective mindset, and you weren't, biased, or you won't, tied into any type of emotional factors, you understood that Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez was going to be an easy fight for Stevenson because it was tailor-made for Stevenson's the way, his stylistic approach to fighting, right? And he utilized that and he took advantage of it. And as you can see, he got the W. But the question now is, with Stevenson handling Valdez so easily and making it look like such an easy fight, what do you think should be next for Stevenson? Do you think it's a smart idea for him to say, hey, as you can see from the title over here, I'm going to stay at 130 for a couple of more years because he wants to be undisputed, rather than saying, hey, I've shown y'all the level I'm at. Let me now move up to 135 where the money fights are, start getting my name in the 135 area. Not saying I have to fight the big names at 135, but I have people speculating, talking, etc., more so than they already are now. They see me at this new weight class. They see that my weight carries to this division. They see my power carries this division. My cardio carries this division. And now I'm in the same talks as all these other young guns at the 135 division that everyone else is talking about, of the Ryan Garcias, Teofimo Lopez, Javante Davises, Devin Haney's, etc., of the world, right? In my head, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that's the way to go. You beat Oscar. He has a lot of recognition from beating Burchard. Also, obviously working with Eddie Reynoso, working inside of Canelo's team, or working inside Canelo's camp. He has so much clout. He has so much so much momentum that you can take from beating him, that you can utilize that into moving up into another weight. And now, getting so many more people behind you to be like, okay, this is literally going to be the next best thing in boxing. He's going to be the guy to beat, right? But unfortunately, he's saying, let me hold back the momentum. I'm going to stay at 130 because I want to become an undisputed champion. Now, I haven't read the article. I don't know specifically what he says, but I'm assuming he's saying I want to become an undisputed champion because obviously that's going to look absolutely amazing on his record. It's going to look absolutely amazing on his resume. because he's still a young gun. He's only 24. So as if 24, 25, 26, he's like, I'm going to be undisputed. I'm going to defend my belts at 130. And then 27, 28, he decides to move up to 135 and 140 to now, obviously add to his legacy. I get that business move. As a fan, I'm saying my problem with that is that we're missing out on a lot of big fights. If you decide to go that trajectory, if you try, if you decide to go that route, we'll never see you fight a guy like, Javante or Devin Haney or Teofimo. Like we'll never see you fight any of these guys, top-notch guys at 135, or let me not even say top-notch guys, up-and-coming prospects that we feel like are going to be the top guys at 135, 140, etc. We may not see you against them because you are okay with waiting until they're at the point where either they won't be making enough money or they squandered all of their hype where it's like, I'm not going to fight you, or the exact opposite where they're making so much money and their hype is so high where they won't even sniff at you and they say you have to do X, Y, and Z. This is coming from me personally, Black Goose TV family. This is coming from Fluence. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about what I have to say. It's about what you guys have to say. What do you guys think about Shakur Stevenson basically saying he wants to stay at 130 to become undisputed champion? Now, coming from this article, they believe he can't afford to stay at 130. They feel like he should move up, similar to how I feel. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's a smart decision for someone like Shakur to stay at 130? Or do you think he should start thinking about, hey, it's time for me to move up to 135 because all the money fights are at 135 and 140. There's no money fights when it comes to 130. So let's see particularly what he said personally. I want to get to his actual quote so we can hear what he had to say about this particular subject and move on. Now, you see, I just scrolled through the whole thing and I didn't see a quote. And that's what I was looking for. So let's start off from the beginning and let's see what the beginning had to say. And let's see if it leads into a quote or is all this speculation from Boxing News 24. You know I hate speculation, but let's get it. Shakur Stevenson says he's going to stay at super featherweight to finish his goal of becoming the undisputed champion after his dominant 12-round unanimous decision over Oscar Valdez. The reality is Stevenson's extremely naive dream of becoming the undisputed champion at 130 is an untenable situation requiring too much time to get the other two champions, Kenichi Ogawa and Roger Gutierrez, to face him. To get those two champions to fight Stevenson, his promoters at Top Rank would need to throw crazy money at them. Suppose Shakur was a Canelo Alvarez type of fighter that makes it worthwhile for the champions to fight him by giving him $2 million. In that case, he'd have zero problems. But getting Ogawa and Gutierrez to face him in his next two fights seems highly unlikely. It's sad to say that Stevenson isn't a Canelo, and as such, these two 130-pound champions likely won't be offered enough money for him to buy their belts from them. That's why Stevenson That's what Stevenson would be doing by staying around 130 for another year instead of going up to 135 for much bigger fights that would help in his career. So we don't have a particular statement from him or a solidified, this is what I have to say, and you guys can quote it from me, right? But I'm going to believe Boxing News 24 where he says he wants to stay at 130. He wants to become undisputed champion. I understand also why they're saying, hey, if you were going to be waiting around for these fights, it's going to be very tough for you to get it. So ultimately, man, fuck all the details, fuck all the, extras to it. Black Goose TV family, do you feel like Shakur Stevenson maybe just thinks he's just not big enough, strong enough to compete at 135 and 140 and still be considered great? Do you think that's it? Because I've seen Stevenson spar some dude. I've seen him sparring Ugas at welterweight, putting in work on Ugas. Like, his boxing ability far surpasses his weight. So what do you guys think? What do you think the best decision for Shakur Stevenson after a dominant win for Oscar Valdez? Do you think he should stay at the division he's in, try and become undisputed and make the most at that division? Or do you think he should start looking about making his way up because there's where the real money fights are? Are we just talking about a little bit too early for a 24-year-old? Like, why should he be thinking about money fights when he's making good money and cementing his legacy? Let him thinking about making those jumps and those money fights around when he's 28, 29 years old. I can understand that. Let me know what you guys think. Black Goose TV family, drop in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel as always. Salute to the people. I'm out of here for now. I'm going to be back with